What is going on, everybody? Zach RC here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome along to episode number 25 of the F1 22 Road to GOAT Driver Career Mode series for the French Grand Prix, round number 9 of season 2. We've gone past the halfway stage and looking forward to a very exciting second half of the season. If you guys did miss the last episode, make sure to go check one out before you see this one. There'll be a card in the top right corner of your screen now. But returning to the Paul Ricard circuit for the first time in a career mode episode on this game. We haven't been here since the Prodigy season 3 in F1 2021. It's almost a year ago at this stage. Last time we were there, we pulled off the win. Can we get some points on the board here today? We can certainly hope so. We're starting from P12 on the grid, so we're a bit further back than usual on our Alpine machine. Out-qualified by teammate Esteban Ocon and by our old teammate Alexander Albon, who starts alongside us in P11. So try and beat those two cars and get some more points on the board for the team. In terms of strategy, we're going to go one lap earlier in terms of what the default game has given us. So pit on lap 11 for a fresh set of hard tyres, go to the end on, and down the fuel as usual to get us just towards the end of the race. That will that starting on too much, just give us a bit more speed towards the end. So lining up now for the start of what should be a very entertaining race. Before we get going, make sure to like, share and subscribe for all future Road to GOAT content as we're near the end of season 2. It's been a very entertaining season so far. I'm looking forward to seeing how it ends, both in the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors, and especially the title race at the top. It's getting closer and closer the last few races. Could Ferrari Alfa Romeo be stopped today? I'll have to wait and find out as the last few cars take their places on the back of the grid for the start of what should be a very entertaining French Grand Prix as we go to 5 red lights for round number 9 of the Championship, episode 25, about to get underway. Lights out, foot to the floor, go, go, go. Poor getaway there. Guan Yu Zhou getting past us on our left to go towards turn 1. We're getting swallowed up by the field here as we charge towards turn 1. Vettel on the left getting through. There goes Bottas and Tsunoda going 3 wide into the first corner. Very close to the back of Vettel's Aston Martin there. Had to handle this 3-wide situation nicely. Both Bottas and Tsunoda duck out. They go to the inside of Vettel on the exit and try and get Zhou as well on the left-hand side to charge towards the next right-hander. They get in front of the Williams car. Just about going to the corner in the braking zone. We had the nose in front to go around the outside of Albon here. Going to try and take Gasly as well, and potentially even Ocon as well. Not get a chance at Ocon. We get Gasly up into P10 then. So that we lost about 2 or 3 places off the line, but we've returned it into 2 places gained. And now we sit right behind our teammate Esteban Ocon, who we've beaten in the majority of races so far this season. Let's try and continue that streak today, chasing him through the opening section, what's been a very exciting first lap. We're going to try and take him on the final corner here to end this opening lap on a high, getting close to him on the outside and looking underneath for that last very tight right-hander underneath him on the curbs, and on the exit getting in front of our French teammate in his home race, no less. So let's try and beat him for the sake of the team as well, because it's the team's home race too. Over the line to complete the first lap, chasing down Daniel Ricciardo now. And on to lap number 3 of this race, DRS has been deployed for the first time in this Grand Prix, so we're trying to use it to our advantage to get around the honey badger here, charging towards that very tight left-hand braking zone. Of course, one of the best opportunities to overtake on this circuit. Closing in on Ricciardo. Is it enough to go for it? He's got DRS 2 from the car in front. That's Sergio Perez in P7. Not going to get him on this next turn. Let's try and get him at that long, sweeping right-hander that's coming up on a couple of corners time. They're chasing once again. ERS redeployed. He's about half of it so far. I've got to be careful with that as the race goes on. We get closer and closer to the Australians. We look towards that right-hander and getting towards the braking zone. We're going to take it flat out here as much as we can. Lift it ever so slightly to get around him. On the inside, nice and easy there. Up into P8 and now starts to chase that top 7 with Lando Norris and the rest of the big 3 teams chasing the race leader, who I believe is Lewis Hamilton at this stage early on. On to lap 4 with defending from Ricciardo as best we can. Got a bit too deep there over the curb into turn 1, and we've gone wide in the exit of turn 2 as a result. Ricciardo could see an opportunity to try and counter-attack here. He's look to the inside of us, going into that right hander we gained some place on the start. Ricciardo might take us here. We're going to try and sprint back if we can. We end up tapping the back of his McLaren. Lucky not to get any damage there. We're still on his inside. We get back to him in the braking zone, the right hander, and on the exit, move back clear of him. So lucky to got away with that damage there. I push on to the end of lap number 4 now and start lap 5. We're still being chased by Ricciardo and Ocon joining the party as well. He's about a second back from us. Yellow flag behind. One of the cars behind seems to have an issue of some kind. Not sure who it is so far. It looks like one of the Audis or the Haas cars. It's looking like the Haas here. Not sure which one it is. It could be either Nicholas Latifi or Kevin Magnussen. We'll get a better view at him at the replay to find out who it was. We'll continue on. And it is indeed Kevin Magnussen who is out of the race there. A puff of smoke ever so slightly we saw it just a moment ago, and going towards turnways. Let's pull the car over and call it a day, unfortunately. So only a few laps in for the Haas driver, but K-Mag out of the Grand Prix, unfortunately. He comes our first casualty retirement of this French Grand Prix. Pulls the car over the exit, entry at turn number 1, and that's his race over, unfortunately. So down to 19 cars now, but Ocon and Ricciardo are still our main focus back here. DRS now redeployed for both of them. They try and make it stick on the left-hand side of the track. Both Ricciardo and Ocon going off track here in order to try and keep with us and get that toe. We're going to defend the inside off Ricciardo, but Ocon might try and go for us as well. He's got the inside for this next right-hander, and there goes the Frenchman charging through underneath us. We're going to have the left hand on the exit, so go back inside and stay in front of him for the moment. But again, Ocon could try and get us the same way we've got Ricciardo, so be very wary here as to what he chooses to do. He's on our inside. We've got to give him the space here. Fantastic battle between teammates. Ocon gets out in front of us, only just going to stick right in line with him, going to this next right-hander. But Ricciardo takes his opportunity on the inside, goes for it very late, and managed to make it stick. We've tapped the back end of his car again. It was the same place he took him last time. He managed to get back around him with a half-hour switchback. But Ocon crucially gets in front of us, and that's not what we like to see. Also, Ocon and P8, us down to P9, and Ricciardo in 10th, the rest of the pack slowly creeping us up on us as well. On to lap number 9 now. We're going to chase Ocon the same way he chased us, with the DRS now deployed. No ERS, we're going to try not to use it as much as we can. As I say, we're going to redeploy it, going towards this next left-hander. We're going to go to the inside if we can, late on the brakes, but actually just back out of it here. We don't want to avoid hitting him and potentially spinning out. But be careful here. Tap the lap is high so slightly. We're getting very elbows out this early on in the race, which is good to see. Not taking any prisoners, holding no punches today. Close and knock on as best we can here, going towards this next right-hander. Not looking like we'll get a move done here. We could try it into that right-hander where Ricciardo got us a few laps ago. If we can get closer to him in the braking zone, Ocon will go a bit wide, and that's going to allow us to try and duck in and go a bit more on the throttle on the inside. And Ocon gives us the space there, and we've made a brilliant move stick there, and up to P8. That's what the AI, I've always noticed it over the years, always breaks off. Backs up going through that corner, we can take advantage on the inside. On to lap 11 now. Got a yellow flag in front of us. That's Lando Norris looks to be out of the race here. We're slowing down in some way. We've got our pit window opening on his lap. We have to stop at the end of lap number 11 now. And Norris out of the race. That's a major casualty for the McLaren team, who have seen the majority of their points come through Norris this season. Of course, Norris running well in the Drivers' Championship as well. This could hurt his chances massively at trying to win a championship potentially for McLaren. With not too long in the season left to go, there's be 7 rounds after this one. Norris have a bit of work to do to try and close that gap. But there he is, no smoke. It looks like an internal failure on the car. Not entirely sure what it is, but Norris pulls his car to the right-hand side, and he is done for the day. So, down to 18 cars here. And the commotion trying to keep Ricciardo and Ocon behind. Accidentally missed the pit window, so on that lap we meant to pit. So we're in a bit of a situation here where we can't pit on this next lap because Ocon we're pitting. We could pit in front of him, but that double stack and then hurt the chances of the team. So we're going to try and play the teammate game here as best we can. So we're going to try and pit end lap number 13 if we can. So Ocon will get to pit on lap 12 like intended, like the plan is for the team itself. And we'll come into pits on the next lap. We've got hand off Ricciardo for the time being. And just pushing to lap number 13 now into the pit lane, diving in underneath the pit limit, which is a bit lower than it is at most tracks. Most tracks are looking around 50-60 miles an hour. It's 37 here at Paul Ricard. So not the nicest of things. We go right regardless. We've got 2 cars behind us. Got Tsunoda and Zhou just back there. We may have one of the Audis as well. It might be Mick Schumacher going through just behind as well. Let's be very careful. And there goes the Aston Martin of Sebastian Vettel. There was Schumacher. 2.4 seconds stop from the team. Very close, potentially losing out on a bit of time, but we managed to get out just in time there in order to keep our track position. Well, not track position, we managed to keep our place in the running order. Here comes Ricciardo and Ocon off the last corner and down the main straight. Pit limits are now disengaged, making their way down towards turn number 1. It's a very tight race, to beat them out. There they come, making their way through towards turn 1. Going to get out the pit line and move clear of both Ricciardo and Ocon. So held position in the pit stops despite hitting 2 laps later than intended. Ricciardo right there, just challenging us, and Ocon not too far behind him either. 6/10 separating the 3 of us overall. Going through the right hand a bit too deep there. Ricciardo's considered an opportunity to try and go for something, but Ocon might go for something first here. Not quite sure what's going on behind. I can see the proximity arrows moving around. And Ocon's got Ricciardo here. We've got a bit wide in the exit, and now Ocon's all over us there. Look how close he is now. This will get very, very tasty there. This next straight. Ocon will have DRS. Has to use all we can to defend from him here. We've got a lot of ERS to use as well. Making our way towards that next braking zone. Ocon getting close. He's going to get close. Let's try and go for a move. And look to the outside. Looks like Ricciardo might go underneath. This could be 3 abreast. Going into the corner, Ocon on our outside. He's giving us no room at all. He spun us out. No! And there goes our teammate Esteban Ocon spinning us out. And all of a sudden, we're down the order and down to what looks to be the last of the running cars. And a poor move there from Ocon, in my opinion. Perhaps we may have gone a bit too late, but we had the room. We were inside of him going into the corner. He knew we were there. And thus, has just left us in the dark completely. We've had no choice but to run into him and spin out completely. So down the order now, P18. And that's a poor move from Ocon in my book. I'm not sure what the team think of it. But we may, after I played a team game for him in the pits, and now he's gone and done us like this. So unfortunately, we've got to work our way back up to the field here. Starting off with Mick Schumacher and Nicholas Latifi, our first 2 targets here. That's the work our way back towards the points if we can. It's not over yet. We won't give up on this race just yet. So we're past Schumacher and Latifi now, next target. Going a bit too deep there on the curve. We're going to try and get him in the same place we got Ocon a couple of laps ago. Try and make that stick again. On the inside, Latifi gives us space, practically moves out the way for us. Lets us go, says please and thanks. So charging through up into P16 now. And Bottas, our next target, the other Audi, looking to the outside of him, then the inside for the final corner on lap number 20. And we've got too much long left to go in this thing. And we've got a few more laps to try and claim those points. We've got Bottas now. We're going to start chasing down Guan Yu Zhou in the Williams. Ahead of him, it's Stroll and I believe it's Stroll, Vettel and Tsunoda, if my memory serves me correctly. I'm not entirely sure. But Zhou's our main target at the time being. Get him in the same place, got Ocon and Latifi. So we're 3 for 3 now in overtakes in the area. Of course, we got Ricciardo on the switchback earlier too. And again, we're going to try and take Stroll at this serious deja vu. We're going to look to the outside this time. Bit of contact with Stroll. Perhaps the outside wasn't the best of places to go for it. Going to have the DRS though off the corner. And I don't believe Stroll has any. No, he doesn't. Down this main straight he comes. Going to try and take the Aston Martin at turn 1. We're going to look to the outside. There's enough room because Stroll defends underneath. Good defensive driving from him there. But we're going to take the opportunity on the outside going into turn 1. That's a nice move completed there without too much fuss. And on the inside of Stroll through turn 2 and up into P13. So it's 3 places away from the points. And it's actually our teammate Alexander Albon there who is running in P12. Then it's Vettel and Tsunoda holding on to the last 2 places separating us from points here. Ocon pulling away. But it looks like Ricciardo and Gasly have gotten out to a decent lead of him. So Ocon, our instant with Ocon may have thrown away any more points for the team rather. Of course, it looks like it's going to be P9 and P10 if we can try and catch these guys. On the exit of the corner, going to get Albon here. Nice smooth on the battery as well. And chasing Vettel and Tsunoda now going towards this next couple of corners, but Albon's still there behind us, but he falls away by the end of the lap, and now we're going to chase Vettel here. Going to look to the inside if we can, very late on the brakes. That's both Aston Martins we tried to get here off the final corner, and one of them has worked, so we've got Vettel now, and we sit just 1 place away from the points here. Yuki Tsunoda on lap 24 as our last target. Ocon is 4 seconds up the road from us, so he's going to beat us today, I think, regardless if we get Tsunoda or not. We're going to try and snatch that final point if we can, complete this comeback drive in the second half of this race. Going to pull to the inside again. That's one of our major overtaking opportunities into the final corner, late on the brakes. On the exit, managing to pull clear of the AlphaTauri. Ocon, as I say, 4 seconds up the road. Gasly and Ricciardo even further away from him. So potentially we may have thrown away some big points here. But in terms of our Constructors' Championship fight with Norris out of the race, we could have beaten the McLaren team today in terms of points. But it's not looking like that'll be happening today. 6 seconds separating us and Ocon the final lap. And it's Lewis Hamilton who's coming through to claim, I believe it's his first victory of the season, the Mercedes' first victory of the season. He's done a fantastic job here today and comes across the lines to take victory here in France. And finally, Ferrari Alfa Romeo are beaten. Red Bull come home in second with Max Verstappen, who signs home in third place. Well, they'll come through the final corner now to claim P10 at the end of a very, very dramatic, very entertaining race. But still frustrated what Ocon pulled there. Not still happy. But could this be the start of a somewhat rivalry in the second half of the season between ourselves and Ocon? Only time will tell. But regardless, it's P10, 1 point on the board.
Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I feel consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So Hamilton takes the win in here at Paul Ricard, Verstappen home in second, and Carlos Sainz in third place, helping extend his lead in the Drivers' Championship with a little bit more of his teammate Charles Leclerc as he looks to battle the reigning world champion to claim the crown for himself. But Hamilton on top, again, frustrated with how things went for our Alpine team today. It could have been P7 and P8 potentially if we got away with Ocon earlier on, but the incident means P9 and P10 on a day we could have beaten McLaren today, but it is what it is. So we move on to the next race.
Carlos Sainz extends his lead at the top, getting ever closer to securing the championship. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Natalie Pinkham, come on, who do you pick?
I have to give it to Cohen. They fought so hard and had incredible pace at times, so I don't think anyone did a better job today.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Meanwhile, AlphaTauri's strong weekend allows them to continue their march up the table. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
So let's go through the top 10 and in a very exciting French Grand Prix. Hamilton taking the victory, Verstappen in second, Sainz third, Leclerc home in fourth, 2 points for Sainz being gained over the Monegasque, Perez home in fifth, Russell takes home sixth, Ricciardo seventh, Gasly eighth, and Ocon ninth, and we round out the top 10. Vettel got snowed at the end, Albon finishes there in 13th, and Bottas 14th for Alpine. Still frustrated over how things ended there, but we try and move on to the next race, try and close that gap to Hamilton, which has now been extended to 5 points in his favour. It's 5 points separating the two Ferrari drivers at the top of the championship, and George Russell now tying Lando Norris for third. So perhaps it's not over for those two drivers. It could see him come back. Perez and Verstappen still in no man's land. Perez just 3 points back from Russell and Norris. So it could be, it's anyone's game still, but we've got to try and beat Ferrari, which could be hard. Ferrari 79 points clear at the top of the championship. We stay in 5th place and lose a few couple points there to Alpine, I believe. That and AlphaTauri take over Audi for P8 in the championship. So that'll do it then for today's video, guys. I do hope you've enjoyed this one. If you did, then make sure to like, share and subscribe for more future Formula 1 content. A great race today. Unfortunately made worse by an incident with Alpine teammate. Could a civil war be on the rise? Let's hope not. Make sure to let us know what you thought of the incident in the comments below. And until my next video, guys, I shall see you then. Have a good day and goodbye.